Hey guys, Rick Malava here. CTB Ram is my nickname in the forums, and recently one of the users in the forums, Sir Charles, asked how he could model this screwdriver and do this standard head screwdriver tip without using a Boolean, the dreaded Boolean. And it's kind of funny because I talk about Booleans a lot in the forums, and he says CTB Ram will probably kill me, but I'd like to model this tip flat without a Boolean, and I've forgotten how to do it. So let me go in here and show you how I would model this. Actually, one of the other users I want to give credit where credit is due here. Bullet suggested the way that I would do this without without using a Boolean, and that is just the cut faces tool. So let me show you how to do that, or how I modeled this right here using that technique that Bullet suggested. So the first thing I'm going to do is come in here and create a polygon cylinder. Now I use these marking menus here a lot. I'm holding the space bar down to bring up the master marking menu and just going to create polygon, and I'm going to create a cylinder. Lately I've been using the interactive creation tool, so I'm just going to drag that out, and then by default it comes in with 6 sides. Now as you see here, this actually works out nice. I've got a vertex. Let me actually take this and put it at the origin so we can see how the axes are affecting us here. So and let me take this one and just pull it off to the side for now. So what we got here is this is working out nice. We got a flat edge here, and a vertex running up and down the what would be the x-axis. So I want to do that, but I want more sides than this. So if I go 12 sides, I'm going to end up with a vertex. It's an even number, and if I divide it, I get an even number, so I'll end up with a vertex at along each of the axes. If I go with 12 edges and I add 2 more, that would be 14 edges, and we'll end up with a flat edge on either side. So let's see if 14 is going to work for us. So I'll go with 14. That's pretty good. Nice thing about 14 is from about this distance you can probably get away with this without smoothing. You've got enough curvature in here where you're not getting too much faceting from a distance. So you can get in here. You know, this is going to be an asset. So how close you're going to get to the tip of the screwdriver, 14 is probably going to be good enough for you without even smoothing. But anyway, let's come in here and let's continue adjusting this cylinder node by deleting this end cap here. I just need it as a handy handle here. I'm going to come in here and just tug this whole thing up to the top of the grid. And I'm going to take this face, and that's what I meant by a little handle. I can grab the face and pull it up a little bit. Now, next thing I'm going to do is go from the front view, and I'm just going to kind of use this guy to give me a rough idea of the original size I did this one, and the angle. So I'm going to come in here, just eyeball this, and this angle here is a little over 70 degrees on an actual screwdriver. So you can get in here and be real anal about it if you want, but I'm using this one as a reference so I don't have to kind of figure this angle out again. So what you do, or you can just eyeball it. So now that I have this guy, I'm going to take this one and just hide him. I'm going to keep him here for a second because I need him as guide. So with the cylinder we just created, here's the thing that Bullet suggested. We're going to hold the shift and the right mouse button down to bring up this marking menu, and I'm going to go to the cut faces tool, and I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to do it from this point right here. So I'm going to, from this point right here, I just want to match this angle right here as close as I can. So just drop that edge in right there. So now we're done. Pretty much. I'm just going to hide this guy to get it out of our way. Pick this guy again, perspective, and you can see now if I come in here and I delete these faces like so. All right, and I guess I grabbed one in the back there. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get rid of that anyway. Before we go on, let's clean this up a little bit. Actually, this is going to work out now I'm thinking about it. Every time I do this, it's a little different. Actually, that face back there bothers me that I got rid of those. So let me bring that back, and let's delete these again. Let's undo this once again. Side view, front view. Every time I do it, it's a little different because I keep thinking of different, cleaner ways to do things. Let's actually, since we're doing cut faces, let's come in here and do another cut face from this vert right here. And I'm holding the shift key down. That'll constrain it to be horizontal or vertical. Okay. So now you got to remember once you do these cut faces that you're not going to be right on the vertices, as you can see right here. So I'm going to undo that, and while I'm in a little closer here, holding that shift key down, I'm going to throw one in a little closer to that, where that intersection of that vert is right there. And you'll see there's a method to my madness here in just a second. And while I'm at it, since this has symmetry, I'm going to throw insert an edge loop. Go to its tool settings and make sure it's on multiple 1 and throw an edge in right down the center line there. Okay, hit the Q key to drop that tool. Now I can come in here and grab the faces, and I can get rid of all of these faces. Since this has symmetry, which got rid of the bottom, and I don't want to do that, so okay, so let's come in here and do I could do this another. Let's just throw another edge loop in. Insert edge loop right here. Let's throw another one. The last settings will still be active down there, and then let's just hit the split and split across here. I have split polygon on my shelf. It's the old split polygon. I prefer it over the new one. So now let's do this. Now let's do this again. Front view. Let's grab all these faces and let's delete them. Okay, we're getting there. You can see our screwdriver is just like sculpting. It's in the marble. We just have to finish it now. Now let's see. I kind of know where I'm going here. I don't want to lose you, so let's just delete these faces and these faces and delete those. Doggone, this selection tool is really finicky. If you jiggle the mouse just ever so slightly, you pick faces that you don't want. So let's do that. Okay, let's get rid of that. Now I can come in here and go to select this edge and just hit fill hole. Okay, so there we go. There's our screwdriver in the rough. Now you noticed I've been keep looking down here. When I did this cut faces tool, it left. It didn't quite go right through this corner, and I did that on purpose. And you'll see why in a second. Here, I just keep looking at it and thinking about where I'm going in the next step. So let's take and only work with a quarter of this since it has symmetry. So let's take this edge right here and throw in another insert edge loop. And it should still be set on 1 and throw one in. Oh, that's right. This isn't a quad anymore here. So it didn't do what I wanted it to do. So that's okay. Z to undo that. Let's go to the split polygon tool and let's just manually throw one in there, and we'll just eyeball it. We'll fix it in a second. We'll fix it in post, and then well, while I'm at it, I might as well come all the way up to here. Okay, and now let's think about which side we've been working on, which is this one. Okay, come over here and let's just get rid of the right side of this. First pick faces, and let's just get rid of the right side of this. All we need is 1/4 of this to do what we need to do. Okay, now, so at this point, if I was to mirror this all around, you'd have something that you could probably use from a distance just fine without seeing fasting. But if you do want to get in really tight on this, we're going to have to add some control edges to sharpen up these corners, because if I smooth it right now, you see it gets all doughy. Okay, and you get some wacky artifacts in here where you got some of these sharper valence 3 points coming into play. So actually we got this n-gon here, which is, if you smooth it, that causes an issue. So let's come in here and do a split, and let's just split across here and fix this n-gon problem in one fell swoop. Okay, and there you go. And this is going to be nice because we now have a quad here and a quad here. So we're actually at this point almost all quads. I keep looking at this corner down here. Let's actually fix this right now so we don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm going to split from here Actually, I don't need to do a split. I'm just going to come down here, quit out of that tool. I'm going to come over here and pick this vertex right there, the one that I didn't really cut right up to, and I'm just going to hit W, and I'm just going to tug it back like so. Okay, and I'm kind of imagining this split into like 3, or not quite half, because I'm going to throw another edge in here, so I don't want to keep everything spaced out nicely. So now let's do the next thing, which is to actually continue this. Let's go to Split Tool and get this guy all quads at this point, just by doing that. Okay, so now it's all quads. So now what we have to do is add some control edges in here to hold all of these edges, right? So this is going to be real easy. The first thing we'll do is go Insert Edge Loop. Go to its tool settings. This time we're going to set it to equal distance. I'm going to throw one edge in right here. All right. And then I'm going to manually do split and split it all the way around. Now I'm going to split to this point here, and in order for that to work, go to your split tool options and make sure that you have split only from edges unchecked, or you won't be able to do this next thing, which is to go from here to here. Right, and then I'm going to go to there, hit the right key to mouse button to drop that, and then put a final edge in right here. Okay, so there we go. So now I need another edge that goes around the bottom here. So for that, I'm just going to go from the front view again. And if I try to throw an edge loop in, let's see if it actually, let's see if I can drop an edge loop in. Is it going to do anything wacky? No, it should be fine. So come in here and do a insert edge loop. Oh, I keep, every once in a while my fingers go out of whack and I hit the capital X key instead of the shift key. So come down here and go insert edge loop, and is it equal distance again? Yes, and then throw one in right here. Okay, it is whacking out on me. Why is that? Something, got some edge somewhere not merged right. Let's grab these guys, and there it is right there. See, this is where you got to be very careful. I did this by eye, got it very close, but it's not actually merged. There's two verts right here. If I take and select those two verts and I go to display, heads up display, and pick poly count, which should be up right now. It's already display, heads up display, poly count. There it is. You see that I've got, if I pick right here, you see I've actually got 3 verts selected. So there's 3 vertices at that point. So what I need to do is I'm just going to come in here. Since they're so close, I'm just going to come in and merge them. And now it's one vertex. And now this is a quad. So it was basically making all of these, this and this were not quads. None of these polygons that met at these vertices were quads because of all of those vertices there. So just be careful about that. Now come in here. Now if I come in and do an insert edge loop, it should complete. There we go. So that's actually a good clue. If you try to insert edge loop and it doesn't complete the way you'd expect it to, check to see if you've got some vertices that aren't merged. So the next thing I'm going to do, and this is going to introduce a little issue, but I want to show you how to fix it. I'm going to throw an edge loop in right here. Right, and now you see I have 3 edges coming around here, I have 3 edges coming around here, and 3 edges coming around here. So this will, when I smooth, cause these corners to be tighter than all the other ones. But when I threw this edge loop in, it didn't go around the way I wanted it to. It redirected up here. So we need to redirect this. So the first thing we need to do is drop this tool and pick this edge right here, and just delete it by hitting delete edge. Don't hit the delete key or you'll leave vertices. And then what I'm going to do is go to our split tool again, and I'm going to split manually around this right here. Okay, so now we've got 3 edges here. This is going to cause this to be have a nice tight edge when we smooth it. But we've created a triangle right here, which is easy to fix. So I'm just going to go to vertex, pick this vertex, shift right mouse button, merge vertex tool, and just merge those like that. Okay, that fixes that. And now if I throw smooth on this, let me come out of here, drop the tool, just throw smooth on it. You see, there we go. We're really done. Now all we have to do is make sure vertices are on the axes and then do some mirroring. So I'm going to go to the front view, and I'm going to take all of these vertices right here, and I'm going to come out of smooth mode, and I'm going to tug them. I like to just tug them off the axis and then hold the X key down. Now when you do this, I'm going to hold the W key down and hold the right or the left mouse button, and this brings up a different marking menu, but you want to make sure that you are in world mode, and that you have keep spacing off. If I go to the move tool options, it's also over here. I'm in world mode, and gee whiz, I don't use this. Where is it at? Somewhere's going to be that same. Oh, take my word for it. There's a keep faces relative spacing off. There's a checkbox in here for that somewhere. I just don't know where the hell it's at. So anyway, let's just tug these off the axis. Make sure that you have keep spacing off and you're in world mode, and then holding the X key down, snap middle mouse gesture over that, and it'll snap all the vertices to that axis. Now let's go to the side view and do the same thing. Take all of these, tug them off the axis, hold the X key down, and snap them to the axis. And now let's see, this is perspective. Okay, that's the Z, so we want to mirror it in minus Z. Shift right, mirror minus Z, and when you do this, it's going to collapse, and you have to come in here, grab the merge node and this threshold, and give it a smaller value so that those verts pop apart. Okay, and then do the same thing. Now we're going to mirror in minus X. So come down here and mirror in minus X. And once again, all of these vertexes that are very close, you always have to check this, because this can be a real bugger to fix later on if you get too deep into your model. So come down here and once again, give that a smaller threshold, and those will pop apart. And now you have a model that is all quads. We have all quad faces. And we don't need actually this edge right here anymore. I can actually come in here and delete this edge. We only needed that so that we had the symmetry so that we could mirror it. And now if I throw a smooth on, there you go, there's a chisel tip. Now just one last thing to mention. I want to take all of these verts and I want to pull them down to here. Right about there. And this is going to create what I call a clamping edge, type of clamping edge. I'm going to grab this edge right here now, and I'm going to extrude it up. Press this little button here so that you're using the global axes. You always want to. This is your minimum geometry for your screwdriver tip. You want this edge right here, because if I throw smooth on it right now, that's what it looks like. And let me show you what happens if I take that off. Okay, you see what happened to this edge? It pulled away. By having that edge in there, if I undo that, you see it clamps. It clamps this edge. When it smooths, it limits how far these vertices can get smoothed out. And so you want to do that so you maintain the sharpness on this edge properly. So this edge is actually important to your topology. So there you go. And then the last thing I usually like to do is come over here, shift, and right mouse, and just harden all the edges. I like to work with my edges hardened so I can see kind of what it looks like faceted. But like I said, if I did throw a smooth on this, at this point, even before adding all those control edges in, if I just threw a smooth on this, smooth edge. You could see you could use this from this distance. That would work just fine even without those control edges in it. But if you did need to get in close, you'd start to see faceting, which would mean you'd either have to start with a circle that had more polygons in it, which increases your poly count, or you'd have to smooth this by adding these control edges in and throwing a smooth on it. Now you can get really close to this, and it holds up very well. Okay, so there you go. 20 minutes. I guess that's short video for me. So anyway, I hope this helps you out, and thanks for asking the question in the forums, and thank you, Bullet, for suggesting using the cut faces tool to achieve this standard tip screwdriver geometry without using the bevel tool.